VTV News. I'm Colin Zimmerman, in for Swathi Ganesh.
And I'm Annie Randall. Last night, candidates in this year's VSG presidential race had their first chance to go head-to-head.
Presidential candidates Ariana Fowler and Jude Cohen, along with their respective running mates Taylor Gutierrez and Andrew Brodsky, responded to questions about sexual assault, inclusion, and transparency, among others. The debate was moderated by The Hustler and Vandy Radio and was well attended.
As the race to become president picks up, a new contender could be on the scene. The Vanderbilt Student Government Judicial Court has approved a write-in slot for VSG student body president elections next week. They released a statement clarifying write-in slot eligibility due to an inquiry by Jack Newcomer. The first year, along with his running mate Dan Steffen, were previously told they wouldn't be able to run as write-in candidates due to VSG statutes. This was one of the topics of the debate last night, with both sides giving their opinions.
I think that's really exciting to see students actually care about student government and care about this freedom of speech and freedom of activism and involvement.
It also has to do with our entire slogan, it's voice your view. And so if Jack Newcomer is not getting to voice his view, then what do we have to stand on?
Newcomer's eligibility has yet to be approved.
Students on campus are in mourning after a deadly terror attack killed one of our own. Assailants fatally stabbed first-year Owen grad student Taylor Force, along with at least 9 others on March 8th in Tel Aviv.
The 28-year-old was a West Point graduate who served in Iraq and Afghanistan. He was in Israel on a school trip to learn about global entrepreneurship and meet startup companies. In an email to students, faculty, and staff, Chancellor Nick Zeppos described the attack as a, quote, horrific act of violence. A GoFundMe account has been set up to help support Force's family. Force's Remembrance service will be held on Saturday and is closed to the public. The memorial will be streamed live at the Central Library and the Center for Jewish Life.
Commodore fans looking for a strong NCAA showing were let down this weekend. After losing to a 12-seeded Tennessee during the SEC tournament, the Commodores were surprisingly offered a first-four spot in the NCAA tournament. But on Tuesday, Vanderbilt let fans down to their 70-50 loss to Wichita State. Playing well defensively in the first half, the Commodores had their game tied at halftime, but a lackluster second half put Vanderbilt behind. Now, all eyes are on Vanderbilt athletics to see if after a disappointing season, Coach Kevin Stallings will stick around for another one.
The Vanderbilt rape case retrial is on track for its April date. Former Vanderbilt football players Brandon Vandenberg and Corey Beatty were accused of rape in June 2013. Their case will return to court on April 4th, following a mistrial in January 2015. Jury selections will take place on March 30th in Chattanooga, but the case will be held in Nashville. 2 other former football players, Jaborian Tip McKenzie and Brandon E. Banks, are also charged in the case and have not yet gone to trial.
Following concerns from students about PCC services last fall, a new member has joined the team. Marcelina Melvin is the new Access and Inclusion Coordinator at the PCC. Melvin is a licensed mental health counselor with over 20 years of experience in the field. She will oversee the dispersing of culturally sensitive mental health resources to Vanderbilt students. Melvin was hired as part of an expansion of PCC staff that have experience and skills to offer culturally sensitive mental health resources. She hopes to bridge any gaps that have formed between the PCC and students on campus.
Americans living with rare and undiagnosed medical problems can find it hard to get treatment. Vanderbilt is looking to change that. They're now home to one of only 7 hospitals in the nation participating in the Undiagnosed Diseases Network. The network's purpose is to allow for collaboration when identifying diseases and to create a database of diagnoses and treatments. This will help recognize and care for patients with rare and undiagnosed medical problems, which often takes a long time. Vanderbilt is currently treating 16 patients with 50 applications for treatment waiting to be approved.
For students looking to go to grad school, Vanderbilt is looking to be a great option. U.S. News has released 2017 rankings for grad schools, and Vanderbilt is looking good across the board. The Owen School of Business showed the most improvement, jumping up 5 spots to number 22. Vanderbilt's School of Medicine and School of Nursing are also making a mark, named 15 and 13 respectively in the country. Peabody College remains elite, staying within the top 5 graduate schools for education and human development, following Harvard, Stanford, and Johns Hopkins.
She made headlines this past summer, and now that activist is coming to Vanderbilt. Bree Newsom was arrested in June for tearing the Confederate flag down from the South Carolina State House grounds. Newsom will be at the Divinity School on March 22nd, giving a talk titled, quote, Tearing Hatred from the Sky. This is a part of the Divinity School's Transformative Justice, Culture, Race, and Movement series.
That's all for tonight's broadcast. Thanks for watching VTV News. I'm Colin Zimmerman.
And I'm Annie Randall. Tune in next week for more top stories.